Greetings everyone, Cindy Drozda here. Today, what I'm going to do is take you on a little tour of my shop. I've got a camera that's right over my shoulder there and a couple of controls for it, and so I'm going to drive it around and show you my shop. There's the door into the shop from the alley, and that's my bandsaw right there. This is the 20-inch Davison Wells here. Behind it, kind of hidden behind it, is the dust collector and a 16-inch Walker Turner bandsaw. So moving along here, we've got the usual junk, quite a lot of junk lying around here for now. A couple of drill presses right here, back-to-back old Walker Turner drill presses. So here in the corner is my drying box with a bicycle on a trainer in front of it. We'll move on and you'll see there's a chop saw on the back wall. And as I move along, you see we've got the table saw. And then behind the table saw there's a buffing machine, edge sander, oscillating spindle sander, lots of wood, of course, a big bucket of clamps, and I have another bicycle hanging from the ceiling. That's my mountain bike. This cabinet here is the sandpaper station. This purple cabinet here with the cat picture on it is drill bits and drills and electrical supplies and other things. And this is the back door. Goes out to the garden in the back. So here's my robust American Beauty lathe. So I've got cameras set up all around this lathe. This one here is a Sony RX100 version 7. And it's a point and shoot with fixed lens. And it gives me this view, which is kind of the broader view over my shoulder. And it's on a microphone stand. Then we're going to go up and over here. And we have the Sony A6400. And that one is giving us the tailstock view. Now we'll go over here. And up above, we have a Panasonic G9 on a slider. So there's the G9. It's got a non-power zoom lens on it. So it's got one of those follow focus motors attached to it that I will show you the controls for later on. This slider, I've got controls for it here to make it go side to side and pan tilt. And that's this camera here where I can adjust the pan tilt to get the piece in the frame, and I can slide the camera over to get the chuck or whatever I want in the frame. So going on over this way, I've got lots of wood, and this is where my grinders are going to be. I've also got a photo booth. This is an OBSPOT Tiny 4K that is, its only job is to take pictures of the photo booth. So we got 3 grinders here with different grits of wheel on them. This camera here is another Sony RX100 Model 7 on a microphone stand. And you can see also that the cameras on the microphone stands have a video fluid head so that I can easily adjust pan and tilt on them, usually just for getting set up, not for actually during the demo typically. I do that a different way. So let's look at the controls here. Tools on the table. Here is my control center. This camera here, it's an Avaya wide-angle camera, and all it does right now is tell me the speed. There's a speed readout. It's a Hall effect gizmo that's got a magnet on the headstock spindle and a sensor that tells you when the magnet goes around the sensor, and it reads out RPM, and I have that then on the screen. So this screen here has the vMix multi-view. The top screen there has the vMix multi-view, and also I put the chat on there for Zoom meetings. This screen here is a touch screen attached to a different computer that is only really doing Lumix tether for touch focusing the overhead camera. And the overhead camera has also got a zoom control right here. This little round thing here is a follow focus motor controller that controls zoom on the overhead camera. So moving down to the other controls I have, there's an Elgato Stream Deck that I don't use for a lot of things. This mini keyboard, which is what I use to control vMix. There are a few things that this keyboard and vMix keyboard shortcuts and Zoom global shortcuts won't do, and the Stream Deck is set up for those things. Below that is a joystick controller that I can use for virtual PTZ in vMix, and or the OBSpot is an actual sort of a PTZ. That is on the left, the lathe control. Right next to it, we have the pan tilt control for the overhead camera. And below that is the slider control for the overhead camera. Move the little joystick button sideways, and it moves the camera sideways. I've got these little remotes for every camera pretty much on the bed of the lathe, stuck to the bed of the lathe. And you'll see them as we go around here. There's a trackpad, and there's a couple of remotes. I only have 2 remotes for these cameras because I had the wired remotes already, and then when I got cameras that could do Bluetooth, I added the Bluetooth remote, and I just kept the 2 because it's kind of convenient. But I don't really need 2 remotes for each camera. The one that I'm working right now with only has 1 remote. All right, so here we have more remotes. There's the Avaya's remote and the tailstock camera's remote. Lots of stuff magnetized onto my tailstock there. And you can kind of see here where I have my robust swing-away bed with a Jameson hollowing window in a banjo on it, so I can swing that up into place and the tailstock away. There's a face shield down there off camera hanging on a hook, so it's easy to reach. And I've got underneath the lathe, which you can't really see, a lot of chucks and things that I can reach for. I've got calipers and such that I can reach for right there in the bottom left corner of the frame. That gray box is a thing I can put up on the ways to use as an assembly table for things like coloring and such. Lots of tools and various other accessories that one might happen to need while turning. Okay, so here is me at the controls with my controls on the headstock there. I've got the dust collector there, you can see. And then there's a monitor here right in front of the face view camera. So when I look at the zoom screen, that's what's on that monitor, I am looking at the camera more or less. Right next to the camera is a printout of my PowerPoint slides so that I know what's coming next, because presenter tools are not available in vMix. Little monitor right here is an Atomos recorder. It also has focus peaking, and it shows program output. So whatever camera's in program, I can see focus peaking on that and be able to focus my cameras, so it makes it a lot easier. This light is on a movable arm, so I can turn it on and move it over to illuminate from the tailstock side. On the dust collector, I also have this arm here, which can flop over and hold my iPad so that I can use Video Pencil, the Telestrator software that I used in Make the Most of Your Burl. That's about all I had for you, and that was a little tour of my shop and my video studio and all the controls and things that I use to do my videos. Hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video.